I was upset from day one. When they put the handcuffs on me, I was upset. I lost all my respect for THP that night.
A WSMV4 investigation uncovers 7 sober drivers were all arrested for DUI by the same state trooper.
You're under arrest, okay?
Oh, gosh.
No.
What kind of impairment, sir?
Stay back.
What kind of impairment?
I don't know. I'm not
She followed and did everything you asked.
All that will be discussed in court.
Another sober driver has come forward saying she too was arrested by a state trooper for DUI.
She now makes the 8th innocent person arrested by this single trooper for a crime she didn't commit.
In Tennessee, a former U.S. attorney was arrested for DUI after a fender bender. The trooper said she was impaired, but her blood work told a different story. 0 alcohol, 0 drugs. And she wasn't the first. The same trooper has arrested at least 7 other completely sober drivers for DUI. More than 600 Tennesseans have faced the same nightmare. Booked, jailed, and branded as drunk drivers, all while sober. This is the story of Jane Bondurant, and the trooper behind one of the most alarming DUI patterns in the state of Tennessee. If you find value in this video, share it, subscribe, and check the links in the description for sources and case documents.
You have anything to drink at work?
No, sir, not at all.
Cocaine.
Oh, he's some kind of upper.
Yeah. I'll do field sobriety on you real quick. Yes, sir, sure thing. Turn around. Yes, sir.
Whoa. I have not been drinking, sir. Sir, I really haven't been drinking.
I didn't get close enough to smell him, but his eyes are bloodshot and watery.
The blood test results, no alcohol, no drugs. What Lundgren didn't know is that just 2 months earlier, Zahn had arrested another driver for DUI who asked that she not be identified. Her blood work would show no alcohol, no drugs. And 3 months before her, Zahn would arrest Adam Filyaw, not just for DUI.
But it was also carrying a firearm while under the, influence.
Knowing he faced even more serious charges, he was relieved when his blood test came back negative for alcohol. His drug toxicology only showing he had amphetamines, which he uses for ADHD. Both charges against him dropped.
Maybe he needs to go back to training.
And 6 years before them, Zahn, then a Williamson County Sheriff's deputy, arrested Charlie Smith for DUI. His blood work, no drugs detected. As for alcohol,
mine was 0.00 alcohol. He's done this repeatedly.
In fact, in May of 2019, Smith's attorney, Eric Larson, wrote to the then Williamson County Sheriff, citing 2 additional cases where sober drivers were arrested by Zahn. Charges dropped in both cases, writing, "We do want Zahn to understand the consequences of his decisions."
You've got innocent tax-paying citizens, good people who they've got to go to jail, they've got that humiliation, they've got to pay to get released.
In addition to all these cases, fast forward to February of this year, Tracy Sprouse would become the 7th sober driver documented in court records to be arrested by Zahn for DUI. Her blood work would later show no alcohol, no drugs in her system. Before her arrest, she was playing pickleball.
Now I have PTSD when I see a police officer with its lights on.
When you see the same officer, same trooper in this situation that hasn't happened multiple times, well then you obviously have to look at a training issue.
I think this is a product of a systematic failure from the top down.
You're putting a lot of trust in the people.
At the top of the THP is Colonel Matt Perry. For months, WSMV4 Investigates has been asking for an interview with Perry. We also asked to speak with Zahn as well. Once again, the THP told us they had no one available to do an interview. We wrote back and said we pushed back our deadline to offer more time, but no one responded. So last week, WSMV4 Investigates came to a THP press conference. But after he was done speaking, Perry took no questions and immediately got into a car with a driver.
Colonel, this is Jeremy Finley with Channel 4.
And drove away. None of the people interviewed by WSMV4 Investigates received an apology from Zahn or the THP. All Lundgren did get is nightmares.
Every other night, it's another nightmare, and I've been working with my therapist just constantly the bad dreams, constantly reliving this experience.
Put your hands straight out beside you.
In November of 2024, former U.S. Attorney Jane Bondurant was driving through Franklin, Tennessee when she got into a minor fender bender. What should have been a routine crash report turned into something far different. Enter Tennessee Highway Patrol Trooper James Zahn. According to his report, Bondurant showed signs of impairment. He claimed she had bloodshot, watery eyes, and struggled through field sobriety tests. She was arrested and booked for driving under the influence. But there was a major problem. When her blood work came back, the results showed there was 0 alcohol and no illegal drugs in her system. The only substance noted was a prescription sleep aid she had taken the night before. Prosecutors later dropped the case. The DUI never should have happened. But check this, Bondurant wasn't alone. She became the 8th driver arrested by Zahn, whose test later cleared them completely. 8 people, all accused of DUI, all sober.
You really arresting me?
She didn't mention it, but Zahn wasn't arresting someone unfamiliar with law enforcement. Bondurant is a former assistant U.S. attorney.
What was it like for you to be arrested for a crime you didn't commit?
Shock was the first reaction, trauma, and the trauma lasted for months because it took for months to be resolved.
You're now the 8th sober driver to be arrested by Trooper Zahn.
I think I make people too many.
I'm wondering what you think the THP should do.
I know they've got a problem person.
And we asked Governor Lee what he thinks.
I'm wondering if you feel like at this point the THP needs to be reviewing how it's conducting DWI investigations.
Well, I think we have, in fact, just in this past year, put in place a requirement from TDI to provide transparency around those cases. I think that's the first step is transparency.
He's referring to a new state law prompted by our sobering problem investigations that will require the TBI to gather all of the sober drivers arrested for DUI in Tennessee in 2025. But that report won't include cases like Bondurant's. She was arrested last November, and won't detail the impact of these arrests. For Bondurant, she learned her insurance was being dropped.
I just called the guy and said, "Is this because of the DUI?" And he said, "Yes."
WSMV investigates, a Nashville news outlet, uncovering the disturbing pattern. Between 2018 and 2025, Trooper Zahn arrested at least 7 other drivers who later tested clean. And statewide, the numbers are even higher. Over 600 Tennesseans have been arrested for sober DUIs since 2017. Think about what that means, folks. Hundreds of people booked, jailed, sometimes losing jobs, money, and reputations. All for crimes that toxology proved they did not commit. Ms. Bondurant herself described the experience as humiliating. She said she was handcuffed to a wall in the Williamson County Jail, treated like a criminal, even though she was completely sober. And remember, this isn't just anyone. She's a former U.S. attorney, someone who understands the law from inside and out. After WSMV's reporting, Tennessee lawmakers stepped in. In May of 2025, Governor Bill Lee signed a law requiring the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation to publish annual data on how many people are arrested for DUI but later test negative. For the first time, the public will be able to see how often this happens and which agencies are responsible for it. But what about accountability for Trooper Zahn? That's still an open question. The Highway Patrol has refused to comment on individual cases, and there is no public record of discipline. Zahn remains on duty. So here's the takeaway. If a state trooper can repeatedly arrest innocent people for DUI, and the only safeguard is waiting months for a blood test, then the system itself is broken. This is not just about one officer. It's a process that allows bad arrests to pile up unchecked. As always, the question remains, how many more people are out there right now branded as drunk drivers, when in reality, they were stone cold sober?